Hey everyone, welcome back to Pomino's. We're doing something a bit different today. Before the weird-shaped, egg-shaped bowl, I was a fan of the round bowl game. Soccer, as you guys call it, and girls, as I'd call it, football. And we're into week 2, so a few people have asked me what the hell is the goal with the round bowl game. And I figured what I'll do is I'll try and get an answer for you. So what we'll do is I'll give you my preview. There's going to be a little bit of tactics here as well, so you can maybe understand what's going on if you are new to it. If you're not, hopefully you pick something up or we have a little bit of discussion of it. But without any further ado, let's get right into it. So 9:30 our time, Saturday, that is. We've got Burnley versus Liverpool. Liverpool entertained Burnley. And here is the Liverpool side. So we've gone with a little projection now. Obviously, that is roughly how they set up in formation. I don't expect to see major changes for Liverpool. Now, obviously, you know what to expect from them. They're real high pressure. They're really look to win the ball quickly. Kind of like Richmond in AFL for you guys. They look to really press very quickly. And they look to control the possession in the forward half, in the opposition's half. They do create dozens of opportunities and they really do overload through that middle of the park. Very strong at the set plays, multiple chances as we've talked, and they're a very good finishing side. Now, obviously, when you play a high press, you're always at the victim of the old counter-attack, something to be wary of, and they do like to play it out the back, so there's a little bit of a risk factor there. Burnley, what are they like? Well, they play a traditional 4-4-2. Sean Dicey's old school. For me, I'm at 35, I'm still stuck in the if it ain't 4-4-2, it's shite type mentality. And he focuses down the wide channels, obviously. They do shoot on sight, and it's very direct, long balls type game. Like most 4-4-2 old archaic English styles, they're very good around set pieces, tough to break down. Very well drilled as well defensively. And obviously, when you play a 4-4-2, it would be a crime not to be good at crossing. I think they lack a real quality though, Burnley, and that's no disrespect to them because they've done remarkable. It's just the quality of ball, of their possession ain't so crash hot. So I'm going to tip here 4-0 Liverpool, and I think Sadio Mane will get on the goal sheet, is my prediction. And then we go on to Sunday, and we've got a few games on Sunday. And we start with Leeds versus Everton at midnight on that manic day. And Leeds United, let's have a look at them then. Well, they're another side that likes to shoot on sight. And they really favour that right-hand channel. That's where Rafinha is and Ayling. Now, you may know them from fantasy football, real jets of footballers, particularly Rafinha, who really likes to chase down there and then cut back inside. So he is a goal threat and he looks to lay it off, particularly to the waiting wings of a natural-born finisher in Brentford. They're a real aggressive side with and without the ball. It's kind of like a Liverpool-style press, but then it's kind of got elements of the City game style of control. It's Bielsa ball, isn't it? There's no other way to describe it. It is chaos personified on a football pitch. And it is a real exciting side to watch Leeds United. It's great to have them back in the league because they are a way too big a club to not. Now, obviously, they've got a real shoot-on-sight mentality. It's real give it a go. They're really tough as well. They've kind of brought elements of that 1970s Billy Bremner time of Leeds United football. They're a real strong side. And their only susceptibilities really are going down that, that wide channel. It does affect them. We have seen it, and we've seen it really last year towards the end of last season. That's where teams have had success with it. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they alleviate that threat because it is something that Everton can exploit. Outside of that as well, some of the vulnerabilities is that just outside the box. They do leave a lot of gaps there, and it can be their detriment. Everton, they're very direct when they play football, and they focus down both channels. And when you've got Townsend and Gray, it makes sense. It's a real high cross and high press type game style that's looking to wing the ball back early and really get the ball into their strikers. You've got Richarlison there and Calvert-Lewin, both very good aerially as well, and both creative as well. And they've got very creative numbers just outside there. They also defend heavily in numbers. With their ability to be direct, and it is a very Route 1 type game style, does cause the ball to turn over, which means you're always susceptible through the middle on the counter-attack. That being said, I think Everton have just got a little too much for this one. I think Everton will win this one 3-1, but I think it'll be a great game. And when you watch Leeds United, it's always exciting to watch. It's prime time in the UK, and we'll start first Sunday. Crystal Palace, they entertain Brentford. So for you Arsenal fans, I know there's a few of you down here, Brentford will be no news to you. They were dominant in the Championship last year, new team. But what about Liverpool? They've got a new coach, Patrick Vieira, French legend, Arsenal legend. And again, they're a 4-4-2 type side. They really do focus down the left-hand side. They've got Schlupp down there. They've got Mitchell on the fullback. And obviously then you do find as well that occasionally Zaha just slots into that little channel as well. And they do play a modern-day game. Vieira likes to play from the back. And they do like to sit off in defence and bring you into their key zones. They are very strong aerially, very good over the top side counter-attack, and they've got decent pace up forward. Benteke and Zaha, they're quick, strong as well, so real good. Now, obviously, it's a new system, and genuinely when you get new coaches in the Premier League as well, you do find that it takes a while for them to formulate the set pieces. In pre-season, they have looked a bit vulnerable, as they did under Hodgson. And they do leave quite a wide gap because of their defensive system from midfield to the back line. So you've got a little bit of an area there for players like Zaha to cut inside and really operate kind of like an old school number 10 type thing. I believe the new phrase that is in vogue at the moment is the trequartista. I don't lose it though because I'm not a melt. And then we got Brentford. Now Brentford, they're really interesting. They play a real attacking style. If you are getting into the round ball game, particularly Brentford are a team that's probably really exciting to watch and really appealing. They do give it a go. They again sit back and they allow them to on to them. It's kind of like a cat and mouse game with them. They're looking to bring you on so they can get into the counter attack. They do play it down the back as well, and they look to go down there. They are a strong aerial threat, very good counter-attacking side, and very similar to the Palace in the way that they play. Very controlled, very possessional-based, and a very good side to watch. I'm going to tip here at the midnight Sunday 1-0 and Benteke to score. I've got a feeling about him, and I'm looking forward to seeing him go. Then we go a wee bit north even. We go to Manchester, not far away from me, and they're a possession-based side, as we know, City, as they entertain Norwich. Again, they've got like a left side focus. They really like to bring Mendy, Sterling, and you saw last week as well, Grealish really operates off there as well, playing that kind of David Silva type role. They really do have a pronounced offside trap like all of Pep's sides, and they're a very short, sharp side as well. You don't see many. Look for the triangles, kind of a key archetype of the tick-attacker style that Pep plays. They really do control the ball well as well, and you can see ability to be patient. They control the tempo pretty well. And also for a side that's very skillful, they are very nousely in the air. So they are a little bit of a threat from the set pieces as well. You do find that sides that play very wide against them do kind of cause them a bit of trouble, as that has been kind of synonymous with Pep's career. And they can create so many opportunities that he kind of gets lost in there. Norwich, on the other hand, they really do attack that right channel. They're a real first to the ball type side. They tackle hard, and they play a real direct style of football. Strong in the areas you expect most of these sides are. Set pieces are kind of the building blocks for a new side and for one of the lower end sides. And they're very disciplined as well. They play a very rigid back four. They keep the shape well, Norwich do. Again, side that really does suffer from defending really the corners, which is where probably I would be looking at Diaz and players like that who may pop up with a goal. And they struggle against the quicker sides. I've got here Grealish to actually score his first goal, and I would expect City to win this one quite comfortably with a 3-0 win. Then we've got Newcastle. They play Aston Villa and Villa Park, and Villa, they play that real traditional system now. It's kind of like it's a 4-2-3-1. It's kind of become the new in vogue in the Premier League at the moment. And again, they really have the shoot on sight mentality. They really like to channel it through the centre, and they do play a possession-based style of football. Very, very defensively strong in the set pieces and corners. They've got real strong work rate as well. You'll find that particularly Traore and El Ghazi, they do operate up and down the ground with real high intensity. You kind of find that Buendia and Ings, they kind of stay as their most focal point in attack, and everyone tracks back. So it kind of becomes like a 9-1-1 in a 8-1-1 even in defence, and very disciplined as well. It's a very disciplined structure. They do struggle from out wide, and that's probably why you see El Ghazi and Traore. They do strike back, and it leaves, again, areas for you to run. There's channels there that, you know, they'll be looking to get in, that they'll be looking to get players like Wilson and particularly Saint Maxim really on to them little channels, and he could be a threat there. Newcastle, on the other hand, they're real potent on a wing style play. You can see Steve Bruce coaches them. It's very 90s Man United what they try and do. Get the ball out to the channels and get it in and really take your chances and try and keep it inside the 6-yard area and try and make something happen from a long shot. They are very creative though. Joe Linton, Fraser, very good players, and also St. Maxim will slot in there. They've got some real talent there. They're a real rigid side as well from set plays, which is no surprise when you've got Steve Bruce as coach. And they do have real game changers around the park. It's going to be said you've got Almerion, who kind of sits back and plays that kind of like deep lying playmaker role from in the midfield. St. Maxim can make something happen. Fraser and Joe Linton, there's no doubt about their quality. And Callum Wilson is a real good finisher. Again, they do suffer from the counter-attack though, and they do leave that kind of speed type player variance because there is a gap between their CM, their CAM and their CDM, and that is a place where, you know, a skillful player, particularly if you're looking at Villa, McGinn there, he pulls the strings for that. He'll be looking to exploit that. I've got this one though as 1-1. I think Danny Ings may pop on the score sheet. And it should be a very exciting game. And then Sunday at 11 o'clock, we've got Man United. They entertain Southampton. And Man United, quick counter-attacking style. And we can see here they play a 4-2-3-1. And they play a real counter-attacking style. They exploit the wings and they look to overlap with the wings and the fullbacks kind of interchanging. You see there, we kind of got them as they play very centrally. Sancho and Pogba, it's hard to describe. Last week you saw they drift in and out. You saw Fernandes, he operated down that right channel. It's a very direct style and it's very creative with a lot of free roles for them to, particularly to oscillate where they need to go. They're a real strong side as well, really getting into it and really causing them turnovers in the midfield. They can though get a bit loose possession. You saw at the weekend the 5-1 against Leeds. They were on the top of their game. However, if when them passes don't turn off, they do leave themselves exposed to the counter. Southampton, on the other hand, they really do exploit them wings, particularly with Redmond and Walcott there. A bit of experience and a bit of pace. They do prefer to go down Redmond's side though. And off the ball, they do like to sit back and really soak up the pressure and then hit you on there. They really do link up though well with this 4-4-2. It's a kind of a very modern day 4-4-2 that's really wide. Very quick moving as well, really interchangeable as well, which is so important. You've got Ward Pros there and you've got Romu who kind of take it in turns to play the deep lying role. Now the problem is that they do attack in real big faces as they do in defend. So it does create gaps in behind that can be hurt, and also wide teams like Man United should enjoy themselves. I've got this one down as United 3-1, and I think you may see a first goal for Jadon Sancho. And then we've got what is an exciting game. We've got Wolves, and they are against the Spurs. Now, Wolves, again, they're a shoot-on-sight side, but they're a very fast side. They play really quick football, really intensive. It's kind of very similar to Claudio Ranieri's Leicester in that kind of how speed and how quickly it moves. And they're a very strong defensive unit, real elite with this 3-4-3 kind of style. It's a real defensive but very quick to adapt, and they've got Nori and Semedo who play that kind of wing back role. So to explain a wing back, it's kind of like a midfielder but it's also a defender. The closest I've described it for Australians who know AFL, it's kind of like what Rory Laird does off the half-back flank. He stays back, but he also is very important in their attacking sets, looking for the overlap as well. So you'll see him kind of drop next to that CB in defence. And then when they're attacking, he'll really push up the ground and get to where that position is on your screen now. And they've got a bit of pace there. Nori, Traore, Trincao and Semedo, very quick players, very tricky players, and they've got very good skill. They do, though, like most three at the back, there is a susceptibility to the wings, and it is a counter-attack kind of thing, which spells disaster when you saw how Spurs played last week. Their first game under Nuno in the Premier League, and again, a very rigid defensive style, and they hit on the counter, and it's a quick kind of drop behind the ball, soak it up, and then explode and burst when the possession changes hands. And you'll see that they'll really attack the left-hand side quite a bit. You'll see that Son drops in there. You saw Lucas Moura as well. They really do heavily float that. And they like to find that through ball as well into Dele Alli and into Son, as you saw last week. And they're a very aggressive side as well. They can be caught off from the offside trap because they do commit a lot of men, and they are looking for that, which is an issue for them, which does return possession to the opposition. And they can be hit on the overlap if you do get the ball in their counter-attacking phase. I think Tottenham will win this one 2-0. And I think Son will continue his exceptional goal-scoring form. And then we go to a wonderful game here on the Monday 1:30. I'll actually be live streaming this with Paolo and Mars. Arsenal-Chelsea. Now, Arsenal, they're kind of a mercurial now for an old man like me now. Arsenal have a certain way of playing, and it's kind of gone that Wenger style has started to be taken over by this new wave, which is kind of the Arteta, Audi, Pep, we'll call it. And it's very possession-based. It's very slow to build up. It's kind of a little bit different in the avenues of how Man City play. You know, when we talked about Man City, we did talk about that, you know, it's short passes. It's a little bit sharper, I think. I think Arsenal are a little bit more tentative with the ball, and I think that's part of their issue. They do like to go down to that left-hand side, though. You will see players like Saka. He'll be there. Pepe sometimes slots in there. And Martinelli this week just gone there. And you will also see Smith Rowe, who is an exceptional talent and a really exciting footballer. And that's what they're looking for. They look to control it, and they look to really bog down the final third. And they're very patient, which I think is kind of their offset, because they struggle to make clear-cut chances. And when you're slow and you start to commit players subconsciously that far forward, you are vulnerable to a counter-attack. Chelsea, on the other hand, they control it well and they attack hard down the right-hand side. You expect to see Havertz down there, linking as well with that 1-2 with Mount. You see that a bit. And they play very wide. They stretch their opposition. They're a strong side as well. Tuchel's teams are always very strong set piece, and they look to overlap, and they look to cross hard, and they really do look to control themselves again. The issues that they've got, obviously they do struggle against a more direct side, but they are very continental based, so they're quite happy playing these passing sides. I've got this one here as Chelsea 3-1, and I think Lukaku, I think he'll make his debut, and I think he'll score, and I think he's going to cause Arsenal big problems this weekend. We end with West Ham Leicester. Now West Ham, again, David Moyes, now you might remember him from United. Again, they're a short passing style and they sit really deep, like all of Moyes' teams without the ball. They really create that funnel into their back four. They do play wide and they like to hit that counter-attack down the wings. They've got some real talented players as well. Yarmolenko's definitely one to look out for, particularly his ability to cut inside. And he's got a real good finish on him. They are very creative and they do defend in numbers as well. They're a real strong cross inside as well. And Antonio, he can pop up like he showed at the weekend from anywhere. They do stop to struggle with sides though that really do focus through the middle of the park. And that's interesting because Leicester up against, they're another possession-based side that plays very wide and attacks down the wings. And there's been a real shift from Rodgers, who likes to play possession brand football. You remember, he is a product of Jose Mourinho, and he kind of has kept that real aggressive, counterintuitive style of football and then turned it into a more controlled measure. And they've got the ability to get in behind. You've got Vardy there and you've got Barnes, who really do look to play off the last line of the man. Again, set pieces, always been Rodgers' issues. And against midfield, they sometimes can get outgunned. I've got this one 2-1 Leicester. And I reckon Jamie Vardy will be having a party in this one. I reckon he'll score. They're my predictions. Let me know. We'll go through with a recap next week as well. Let me know if you enjoy the soccer content. If it's a big fan of mine. If you are new though, please drop a like and drop a sub. It does mean the world to me. Till the review of the Carlton game, Pom out.